Meredith here today from Peak Performance, and today we're going to talk about DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness, and some of the strategies you can do to help out with that. So this for me is hitting pretty hard right now because I just did my second workout ever after having baby number 2. So my legs are feeling a little shaky and starting to get some of that soreness in. So I figured this was a perfect time to talk a little bit about some of the things you can do to help control that. So starting out, as soon as you start to feel that kind of jello feeling or like the wobbly legs, then you want to actually start going ahead and doing some of your recovery techniques. So the first thing you want to do is some really light aerobic exercise. This is something I would do every day over the next few days because DOMS can last up to 72 hours. So go ahead and do, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes at a time, some light walking. You can do a little bit of light work on a spin bike or an assault bike, just nothing with a lot of resistance, nice and easy to where you feel almost like you're just wasting your time. You want to be able to have a conversation. So after that, one of my other favorite things to do is a little bit of soft tissue work. So you can do a little bit of work with a foam roller. Most people have some kind of foam roller around their house. This is just a really kind of soft, it's not a really dense foam one. So it's not very aggressive, but even just doing that little bit of light work works really well, especially for your legs. Another technique you can do, if you have an IA-stem tool, this is one that's made by Rock Tape, it's one of my favorites. But you can use anything that you have. If you don't have anything like this, you can actually take a butter knife and take the back edge of it and just kind of put some lotion on your skin, especially like something a little bit of a thicker lotion, and just kind of comb over the skin and just use that edge to kind of work over your muscles. That works really well. Don't go too heavy. You want it to be on a scale of 0 to 10. If 10 is like the heaviest pressure you can imagine, you want it to be like 4 to 6. Another thing you can do that gets pretty point specific is taking a lacrosse ball. You can also use a tennis ball or a golf ball. I like these because they don't really slide. They're kind of grippy, so they grip your skin. So if you've got one spot in particular, like you've got a spot in your quads that's like just a knot, you can take it, lay on it. It's gonna hurt like crazy, but it works really well. I would actually kind of lay on it and then move around, kind of bend your knee back and move that leg around, roll on and off from side to side, that kind of thing. That works really well. Okay, so our next strategy we're going to talk about is compression. So if you have some of those really fancy Normatec compression boots or any other brand, you can use those. If you don't, like most people, you can take, if you've got some compression socks, those work really well. You can buy some pretty cheap ones online. I bought some for as cheap as like $6 or $7 before. Or you can also do the thing that runners have been doing for years and years and use elevation instead. So you can basically lay at the wall, make a 90-degree angle with your hips and your body so that your feet are up in the air, and then just sit them up there for 5 or 10 minutes. If you start going numb, you did it too long, get down. But that works pretty well too. Basically your goal is to try and increase the blood flow. Another option you can do is using some heat. So if you have a sauna that you can go use, that works really well. I do 15 or 20 minutes. Don't get to the point where you get dizzy or lightheaded. Or you can do a really hot bath. So make sure you're not burning your skin, obviously. But you can sit in the bath for 15 or 20 minutes as well, and that can actually delay your DOMS and lower the intensity of the DOMS over time too. Your last thing you really want to pay attention to, starting from as soon as you finish the workout, is your electrolyte intake and water intake. So our bodies need a lot more electrolytes than we really realize, especially if you're sweating a lot. So if you work out in a hot and humid environment, if you aren't replacing those electrolytes and really taking in a lot of water, you can't flush all of that crud out of your system. And you get a lot of just stuff that kind of builds up in your muscles after a hard workout. So we want to try and flush all that out as quickly as possible. So one technique that I like to use, we've got these little tablets called Nuun, N-U-U-N. They taste pretty good. You just drop one into your water, drink it. You can drink it during the workout, and then I would drink one afterwards, and basically drink one each day that you're sore too. And that'll help your body to actually hold on to some of that water, and that way it's not just going straight through your kidneys and not even getting to your muscles. So just in summary, I've talked a lot about a lot of the brands that I like to use, but you want to make sure you're doing your own research and figuring out what works best for you and for your body, because everybody's different. But in general, the keys to remember after a really hard workout where you feel like you're gonna get some DOMS, go ahead and start doing some really light aerobic activity, do some soft tissue work. Go ahead and make sure you're drinking a lot of water, getting electrolytes in. Compression is a great option, and using heat like a sauna or hot bath or something like that to try and flush out all of that and increase your blood flow to your muscles. One of the biggest things too is you want to avoid sitting for really long periods of time or staying in any one position for a long period of time, because that's just going to make it worse. Basically then you've got a whole bunch of blood just sitting in those muscles and just making them sore, and it doesn't help everything kind of get flushed out. So that can actually take a light case of DOMS and turn it into a much worse case of DOMS over time. In general, as long as you kind of keep all those things in mind and work on all those, you can actually really reduce all of your symptoms with DOMS. If you find that, in your recovery process and all that, if you feel like you need a little more guidance, we at Peak Performance kind of encompass all of the aspects of performance. So we can do some performance coaching with you. If you've got a little bit of an injury you need some help working through, we can help with that. But in general, we're just here to help you out. So if you are interested, give us a call. My number is 864-934-8370. Give me a call, let me know what's going on, and we can set up a free consultation.